Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm excited about today's topic. How is everyone? Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. I know it's hard first thing in the morning. I hope that you had a great sleep, some breakfast. I've just been for a 4-kilometer run. I've done 30 push-ups. I've already listened to my lecture on insurance that I gave to you earlier this semester. I listened to another lecture on negotiations, which I'm preparing for another talk in about 2 weeks' time. And suddenly I realized, I've got you as tutors, as a tutorial. So I think this is fantastic. All right. And welcome. I know it's really hard, 9 o'clock in the morning, but I just want to remind you that this unit and this tutorial is about you, is about securing your job opportunities in the future. What do I mean? Okay. Today, we're looking at Insuretech, and we'll go through some questions. We'll play some Kahoot. Great. And you'll get more familiar with this topic area. Excellent. Great. But what is more important is that when you go into a job interview, whether it's next month, whether it's the end of the year, you're going to be much better prepared, because what we're discussing today, what we're discussing every week in this fintech, are things that are happening very, very fast in the financial services segment in this world. All right. So that makes you a much more stronger job prospect. What do you think? Isn't that exciting to get up about? Yes or no? What do you think? Zane, what do you think?
Sorry, I just came on, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's all right. Janita, what do you think?
No, I agree with you. I think this unit, does expose you to a lot of things that normally you wouldn't learn about, especially because it is specialized in terms of fintech.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So, because each one of you, coming to a tutor at 9 o'clock, it's sometimes hard to get motivated and getting up and excited and think, oh, is there an exam on this? No, then why should I come to the tute? Oh, nothing to do with my assignment. Why should I come to the tute? And, there's always negative things saying why you shouldn't do something. I'm telling you why you should do it is because it does improve your job prospects. It really does improve. When you're in that interview and something little, they ask you about some of the key trends that are going on. If you can just remember 1 or 2 of these things in each of these tutorials, that will get you over the line. And that's all it takes. You only need to be 1 centimeter in front of the other interviewee and you will get the job. Okay, so let's have a look and just keep that in mind all the time. That's what it takes. Just this current knowledge. What we're looking at is Insuretech. And if I can give you a 60-second summary of my lecture I gave in week 1, did you all watch my video? Yes, no? Karen, yes? Okay, good. All right. The great thing is that in that video, insurance is all about, number 1, it's all about trying to price what? What are we trying to price? Oh, by the way, could you put your videos on? Let's say hello anyway. You can go back to sleep after that. That's fine. can we have some video, more videos? Hi, everyone. Join us. Say hello to your friends, because we've got to encourage one another here. It's not just me trying to do the encouragement. You've got to help each other. Okay. All right. What are we trying to do with insurance? We're trying to price what? What are we trying to price? Thank you, James. What are we trying to price? It starts with R. What are we trying to price?
Risk.
Hello, can't hear you. Hello.
Risk.
Risk, exactly. And what do we mean by risk? What does risk mean? Like, you know, I think consultants use that word too much. McKinsey, BCG, and Boston, and all them, just they use risk all the time. Oh, risk. Oh, I need to pay big money consultants so I can manage risk. What is risk? What are we talking about here? With risk, here it is. Risk is all about trying to predict an event and then trying to understand what is the likelihood of an event occurring in the future. Remember, risk is about the future. Risk is never about the past. Okay. And as you know, when we say the future is the future never happens. So we're always trying to predict the future. That's what we mean by risk. All right. What is the likelihood of a future event occurring? And number two, if that event occurs, what is the magnitude of the loss? Wow, that's it. Excuse me. All right. So that's what we're trying to do. With Insuretech, we're trying to use technology to help us to better understand the likelihood of a future event, and to help us to better quantify, okay, what is the cost of that event when it occurs? That's all we're trying to do. That's what Insuretech is about. Wow. But O'Connor, but if a technology comes along, that means insurance companies will be out of business. Well, that's an interesting point, because, you know, like we just discussed last week, crowdfunding is putting some bank lending out of business. And the week before, cryptocurrencies is putting some remittance middle people out of business, right? You know, Fintech is disrupting. So what are we disrupting in Insuretech? Well, what is interesting with Insuretech, if you look at what we learned in week 2, was just pull out, remember our week 2 exercise? And we pulled that out. Let's just see if we've got it. There we go. All right. So I'm just going to share this again. And remember, I'm all about the big picture is very, very important. And then we understand how important Insuretech is. If you have a look at this, remember 3-4 years ago, remember insurance is the red. The insurance is the bright red, okay? So Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, India, Hong Kong, right? But, you know, remember this isn't perfect data, but we're trying to look for trends, right? And then more recently, what we did in week 2 was, well, Malaysia, it seems like there's more VC funding going into Insuretech. And Indonesia, whereas 3 or 4 years ago, we really didn't see much VC funding going into that area. And Philippines, it's gone away, it's replaced by deposits and lending. And now Thailand is growing. China is starting to get some headway. And of course, India and Hong Kong. As you can see, there's different trends across the different ways in which technology is disrupting what is going on in the financing world. All right, so remember, Insuretech is all about how do we price risk, and what is risk? The likelihood of an event occurring and the magnitude of the loss when the event does occur. What I talked about in my lecture was Insuretech was, we've used technology. A lot of the things I talked about was IoT, the Internet of Things. That is, we're using technology to better to better sense your behavior. If I can better sense your behavior as a car driver, if I can sense your behavior as a health insurance subject, okay, that means you go in the supermarket and you buy greens instead of red meat, or you buy soft drinks instead of alcohol. Then if I can better track your behavior, then what is the benefit to you as the insured person? Shuling, if I can track this thing about your behavior, then why would you sign up for my insurance? What's the incentive for you to sign up for the insurance?
So that I can get cheaper premium, cheaper fees paid.
Exactly. You're going to get a cheaper, you don't have to pay as much. Right. So this is the kind of lure that Insuretech is trying to do, whether it's motor vehicle driving, whether it's health insurance, whether it's life insurance. It's all of these issues where we're trying to use technology to better track your behavior. Remember, excuse me. Remember when we looked at loans or lending, we were trying to use technology to better predict your ability to repay, right? And in some ways, it's very hard for technology to do that compared to what we can use technology for in insurance. You see, in deposits and lending, we used technology to create big databases, right? It was big data. That means if I get 100 different bits of information about you and put it into a giant spreadsheet, then I can better rank your profile as a person to lend to versus Janita versus Karen versus Zane, James. Are you with me here? So when we talk about deposits and lending, we're using technology to create big data and to use machine learning algorithms to better decide, do I give a loan to Shulin? Or do I give a loan to James or Jesslyn? Are you with me here? But when we come to Insuretech, it's, of course, I will give you insurance. However, I'm using technology to find out, well, how much should I charge you for the insurance? You see the difference? All right, with deposits and lending, you're using technology to try and predict whether you will repay. But with insurance, we're using technology to decide, how much of a risk are you? That's the big difference, all right? And so if you are a big risk, then I charge you more. If you are a smaller risk, then I charge you less. And maybe you could say, well, in lending, I just charge you a higher or lower interest rate. Maybe you can do that. But with lending, it was all about the big data. It was all about the big data and getting more data points on you. With insurance, now we have a chance not only to test you when you sign up for insurance, but now we can use sensors to track you after you buy the insurance. Wow, so this is amazing. This is like Big Brother type thing, you know, tracking your every movement. Right, so the question that we had today, we're looking at Beamer, right? So this is your chance to participate. And the first big question is, Beamer, what is Beamer, by the way? Bin Shang, Juyang, and Jesslyn, what is Beamer? Beamer is a case study of today. What does Beamer do?
The micro insurance.
Micro insurance. Okay, so what is it about their business model? Is it easier to get insurance from them?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And which countries are they involved in? Anyone? Which countries is Bima involved in? Have you taken a chance to look up on the internet what Bima is involved in? There are many countries. Of course, they're in Malaysia. All right. So the first question, what is the value proposition of Bima? The first time, okay, it's micro insurance. So what does micro insurance mean? What do we mean by micro insurance? Karen?
Sorry, so I'm not too sure.
All right. So micro meaning very, very small, like you might be only insuring someone to, if an event occurs, like a particular health event or a life, a death, you'll just pay out maybe 10,000 ringgit or 20,000 ringgit. Okay. So it's not about insuring people for millions of dollars. Okay. So traditionally the big companies, if you buy life insurance, then, you know, you're actually buying hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars for life insurance, depending on, you know, where you are in society. But micro insurance is much smaller scale. And so therefore, because it's smaller scale, then you don't have to pay as much, maybe 20 ringgit per month or 30 ringgit per month. And so therefore they can target the lower income echelons in the population. Okay. So now what are the other value propositions of Bima? Bunga, what do you think? Azira, Bokyong. Hello, this is a job interview, everyone. All right. It's a great opportunity for your future job prospects. You get involved here. James, what do you think?
I think they offer like standard package to whoever who wants to buy a micro insurance without evaluating their risk.
Okay, but how can you buy it? What do you need? Do you need a computer?
You just need a mobile phone.
Just need a mobile phone and an app, and then suddenly you pay them, and then bang, you can sign up immediately, right?
Yeah.
And then if something happens, then you just go through the claims on the app. Okay, good. All right. So what are the key drivers of the Bima's business model? So if you're going to set up a company like Bima, remember, this could be something that could be part of your case study, that your project that you do. Your business model might be in the area of insurance. You may want to propose something that competes with Bima, but you may change it a little bit so that it fits a gap that Bima doesn't cover. All right. So question 2, what does Bima require for its business model to work? What does it require?
It requires the use of a mobile phone.
Can we just go again on that?
It requires the use of mobile phones.
Okay, mobile phone. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
An internet connection.
Okay. Well, you know, with the mobile phone, internet connections, fine. And what else?
Hi, sir. Sorry, can you repeat a question?
What is the key things that Bima requires for its business model to be successful?
Acceptance of technology for financial services.
Yeah, but I just want to show you something here. And
I think,
go on.
think that,
Yes,
I
James?
think like getting and interpreting data, like getting a right data that interpreting data that they can get from their target audience. Probably one of the more important things.
Okay. What else? What do the big insurance companies have that helps them to sell what they sell? Like I'll give you an example. All right. So, okay, O'Connor, you got your insurance. See that app there, Mind Wizard? Just right there. That's Mind Wizard, right? Can you see that? All right. That's an app that I created. All right. So if I go into Google, all of you can download that now. And then I can spend the next hour talking about why you should download the app. If I go into Google, Apple Play Store, I only have, and I've had this app going for about 5-6 years now. I've only had about 100+ downloads. All right. So Beamer, they've got the app. All right. So what else do they need to do to get more than 100 downloads? You with me here?
Marketing and advertising.
They need marketing. So what do they have to do the marketing?
Agent.
They exactly. Can you just explain a bit more? Who said agents?
I say agents because they don't have the financial literacy and the general public don't have the financial education. So agencies will approach that underprivileged population and
Exactly.
tell them why they should buy.
So they've got agents and educators, and they really focus that these agents are educators. It's insurance companies, they have agents and they're there to sell insurance, but they don't really call them educators, whereas they try to emphasize that they're trying to educate and help people. It's not just I give you a product, but also I educate you to help you to understand, why you need a product and everything. You could call it still sales, but education is a very important part of their business model. Okay. All right. Up to what age is Beamer life coverage in Malaysia? In other words, it doesn't cover beyond a certain age. What do you think do they have a limit, or anyone can sign up? Can I sign up?
If you're below 50, then sure.
I think I'm below 50, but anyway, it's all right. All right. I feel I behave like I'm a child, but it's all right. Maybe I look older than that. All right. So what's the age? What's the age limit?
50.
50. All right. So why do they limit coverage to 50?
Is it because the risk is higher for the people with age above 50?
Absolutely. Actually, it's interesting. If you actually talk to actuarial science, your probability of my probability, as I'm over 50, my probability of living to 80 years is much higher than your probability of living to 80 years. And the reason is that so many things can occur between the age of 20 and 50 that just, cut short things. And, this is actuarial science talking here, not my own beliefs. All right. So it's very interesting that they talk about this, that, if you're above 50, we don't want to talk to you. You're not part of our segment. But anyway, when you set up a business model like this, they make it very, very, obviously, they're not trying to provide insurance to everyone. And it's micro insurance. So at least they're trying to be successful in one segment. And that's the big thing about fintech. I want, at the end of this semester, I want you to remember that thing I said in the very first lecture, that, this whole thing about fintech, and we look at payment, insurance, deposits and lending, marketplace and all of that. It's so unfair for these traditional banks. It's so unfair to them that here we have all these startups and they think, I will take that little service there and I'll make that into a product. And then another startup comes along and says, oh, I will take that little service and make that into a product. And suddenly all that low-hanging fruit that banks used to make money on is going away. It's been taken away by all these startups. And Bima, in saying, oh, I'll take this little micro insurance, and Mr. Bank or insurance company, you can go and insure the 60-year-olds and the 70-year-olds, but I'll take the below 50-year-olds because they're lower risk and I've got, low margins, and that's my model. And the banks or insurance companies, they can't do anything about it. Like, it's so interesting that, that startups are cannibalizing. They're like the vultures, the lion comes in and actually kills the deer or the antelope in the jungle, right? And then eats what they want. And then the carcass is there, but then all the vultures just come in and just pick their little bit. You with me here? All right. And all the startups, they're like these little vultures. They just pick out that little business model here and they pick out another one, pick out another one. How can they do that? Because of insurance, because of technology, and because of the internet, and because of VC funding, and because of all these things that's enabling them to do this. So this is why this is so exciting. So question 3 was up to what age? 50 years old. And that's a perfect way that they're just picking one little segment. We're going to target this segment because it's likely we'll make money on that segment. We will not make money on a segment that is older than 50 years old. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Question 4. Bima Life in Malaysia is underwritten by a MetLife, right? So why would MetLife want to underwrite Bima Life policies of such low value? Okay, so we're getting into the back end support for that business model. So why would they? By the way, what do we mean by underwriter? Something is underwritten. What does that mean? Jesslyn.
Pay the compensation.
Yeah, or it's kind of like
Close the.
Yep. Go on.
Close the account.
And what does an underwriter do?
They evaluate the inherent risk.
Well, that's part of their process, but what's their business model? When I go for an IPO, we have underwriters. When you put a deposit with the bank, that's underwritten by the government. When you buy insurance, it's underwritten by the insurance company. What do we mean by underwriting?
Guarantors.
Exactly, James. Very, very good. All right. And Jesson, underwriting is a guarantee. So you put your money with the bank because the government guarantees that if the bank fails, you'll get your money back, right? So the government is underwriting your deposit with the bank. Here, when you have insurance, it's very important that, okay, if Bima Life fails, then your policy is still protected by a guarantor. You with me? And so Bima is basically managing the actuarial risk associated with all of the policies. You with me? That's their business. Okay. And then MetLife, they will come in case anything goes wrong. And then MetLife will say to Bima, okay, I underwrite for you, but then you've got to give me a percentage of the premiums that you bring in. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's what MetLife is doing. All right. So why, now let's have a look. There's another. So that's what I mean by underwriting, right? But what's the potential reasons why Milvic Malaysia does not underwrite the policy? So obviously Milvik Malaysia is not, they're part of Bima, is that right? Let's have to check. Did that come out? That's because of the regulatory requirements, right? They're not a licensed insurer, all right? And AMET Life is already a giant, so they have the power to be an underwriter. Let's have a look at question 5. And because we're going to play Kahoot and then we can wrap up and the big things you need to be taken away, right? The key partners of Bima are the mobile network operators. That's Digi and Celcom. So how do you think this partnership benefits the two partners? So how does Bima benefit? Someone else? Ian? Marcella? Hi.
Yeah, sir.
How does Bima benefit?
They are backing their business model on these telecom operators because they basically have a large market share predominantly in the poor.
What do you mean? What do you mean by market share? Let's be very specific here.
So, if you actually see the reports have come out to 2020, Celcom and Digi have the largest market share of telco users in Malaysia.
Wow! Like, in other words, they've got tens of millions of users. How many millions have they got?
I'm not sure, but I know that they had 10 million more than Maxis after the merger that was going to happen.
Oh, really? So, sorry, who's merging with who?
Celcom and Digi are merging.
Ah, not yet happened yet, right?
It's in the process of happening.
Ah, wow, that's amazing. Okay, so therefore, if they partner with Celcom or Digi, then how does that benefit Bima?
You get access to the millions of users that use Celcom and Digi.
I think that's amazing. That's exactly right. So again, when you're doing your project, it's not only wise to think about, okay, what is the value proposition of your product for that you are creating or proposing, but you need to think about, okay, how do you get traction of that product? How do you reach the market? Of course, it's easy to say, oh, we'll just spend money on Facebook marketing, or we spend money on Twitter marketing or whatever. All right. But I think you need to be a little bit more entrepreneurial, like what Bima is doing. That is, one way of marketing is to partner with a cellular provider, and then you get access to all of their customers. And maybe they could say to their customers that have that low end of that low end premium that they pay in the cellular customers, then maybe they may just want to target them, or maybe they can just target their customers in certain states. You with me? And then people may not trust Bima because it's new, but they could trust the cellular operator. And so you could think that partnering with the cellular operator not only gets access to market, but you may also get some reputational spillover into Bima, because the cell phone provider is trusting Bima to be one of their key partners. So I want you to think, when you're an entrepreneur, you've got to think of all possibilities, and you need to think about this when you're doing your own business pitch on that. All right, let's go to question 6. Well done on that one. That was excellent. Ian, based on Capgemini's classification of Insuretechs in terms of level of innovation, do you see Bima as an argumentative innovator augmentative innovator or a disruptive innovator? What do you think? Is it disruptive or is it augmentative?
Augmentative.
Augmentative. Ian, why do you say that?
I gave 3 reasons why. Like, the first reason is the new channel of payment. You don't go through the traditional means of banking.
Mm-hmm.
It serves the unbanked population who don't have accounts but only have a phone.
Okay. All right. Someone else.
Well, I think it's disruptive innovators.
Okay.
Because I think the new payment method will like attract more younger generation to buy the micro insurance, and then this will cause traditional insurance companies lose their customers because of their updated business model.
Ah, okay. All right. So what do we mean by disruptive or augmentative? Which one is bigger in terms of changing the way things are done? What do we mean by augment? If you're disruptive, what happens? What are you doing to your competition? Ruyong, what do you think? I give you a hint. Earlier, about 10 minutes ago, I was talking about how all these startups are just picking out this little apple and this little apple, like the vultures in the African desert, you know? Okay, they're just picking off that carcass and they're just taking what they want, right? The startups are doing that. So when we say that the startups are just picking out this little part or this little part or this little part, in some ways you can say they're just being augmentative. They're actually just taking out one little piece, okay? Whereas disruptive, something like Bitcoin has the potential to be disruptive because it's replacing an old form of finance, right? That is, payments, a currency. It's potentially disruptive, okay? I don't think it will succeed, but I'm just saying it's potentially disruptive, right? Whereas Beamer, they're just targeting a particular market. They're really not disrupting the insurance business because the big insurance companies were never targeting that market to begin with. You with me here? So in that way, that's how you could argue that Beamer is more augmentative. Okay, so they're tweaking. Tweaking means changing a little bit rather than disruptive. That is smashing the old business model and starting a totally new business model for everything. Okay, so that's what we mean. All right, so what I want to, let's play Kahoot, and which will help us to, and I only want to do this if it helps in you to think more and just to help to summarize some of the big points that you need to take away. What do you think? What do you think, everyone? Hello? Are you still there, everyone? Did you know that my cousin made a Android, a robot? I'll show you after the Kahoot. If you put your videos on, I'll show you. Okay, let's Insuretech. I'll show you the robot after. Okay, let's have a look. and I will share the screen. Is the share screen, bang. And this is Beamer and week 9, I believe, and teach. Yes, of course. Okay, so I want you, we're going to play the classic, loading the game pin, and we want everyone involved. Like this, I think there are 13 questions, and it's 524-7363. Can everyone get in? Can everyone get involved, please? And at least put part of your name in there so we can have a bit more fun in identifying you. Okay, really appreciate that. Janita, well done. Masala, Jinru is ready to go. Sinji, Akwaya, Melvin. Well, too many of you. That's awesome. Come on, we want 23. Come on, we go faster, 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 faster. Let's get this moving. Remember, this is for your employment prospects. When you go in a job interview, you're going to be so much smarter because we're going over these key ideas in insurance. We've got 19. Can we get 4 more of you, please? 21. Can we get 3 more? 3 more, 3 more. 2 more. 2 more to go, please. What MCO, Movement Control Order 3, is that what that means? I love that. That's very, and that started today, is that right? Karen, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good luck with that. Really take it easy. Remember, at the end of the day, look after your mind, look after your body, eat well, and stay safe. That's the most important thing. Okay, 524-7363. 524-7363. Let's start. Are you ready, ski daddies? This is Insuretech. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, true or false? Beamer is a leading provider of mobile delivery insurance products in developing and emerging markets. True or false? Man, one person's slow. What's going on? Can we get them more? True. Come on. Okay, 19. Of course it's true. It's one of the last one. All right, Janita, 1,000 points. That you were very fast on that. That is so cool. All right, that's great. Love this. All right, what is the main value proposition of Beamer? The main value proposition. The main value proposition. Okay, all of the above. I know some of you, 3, those that choose red, that's correct, of course. But of course, convenience and lower costs, they were critical also. Okay, sorry, Janita, we knocked you off then. All right, 2 minutes. All right, apologies for that. How Beamer have lower costs and increase efficiency in onboarding? How can they have lower costs and increase efficiency? How can they do this? All right. Obviously, it's not none of the above, but how can they do it? A and B means going digital and leaner processes. Tricky. Definitely going digital. Yeah. All right. It's tricky. Leaner processes. Maybe that wasn't really specific. But definitely going digital was really clear. Digital and mobile. All right. Let's keep moving. Book Yong. Up top, followed by Karen. Well done. Who are Beamer's key partners? Who are Beamer's key partners? You should be able to get this one correct. Okay. Quick, quick, quick. Faster, 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 faster. Come on, let's move this. Okay. Oh, come on, 2 of you. Insurance companies, mobile operators are the key partners. Remember, very, very important for their marketing. Of course, they have underwriters, but that is, you could say that that's next best, but definitely the mobile operators is key to their business model. I know it's tricky. Some of these 2 right answers, but one is more correct than the others. What is the key enabler of Beamer's business model? What is the key enabler? The key enabler. Very, very important. Very, very important. It's the agents who provide education. They have 3,500 agents. I know it's tricky on the other answers, but those agents were very, very key. Very, very key. Mobile operators having 3,500 agents. Up to what age is Bima life coverage in Malaysia? Up to what age? Sorry, Neil, you don't count. Well, I do feel younger than 50, but it's technical age, not the what you feel age. All right. All right. Come on. You should be. Okay, we got it. Everyone is on the right path here. This is so cool. Yes. All right. Karen's on top. Juyong, Bookyong, Melvin up there. True or false? Increasing age limit would raise claims and thus suppress margins even further and make Bima unsustainable. True or false? Should be able to get this one right. Come on, can we get unprecedented 2 in a row? Everyone right here. And don't just say one. Oh, come on. Those 2 that said false, you're just playing games with me. You know that this is true. All right. Okay, let's keep moving here. Very quickly, we're on the scoreboard. Karen on a roll now. 7 answers in a row. Well done, Karen. Bookyong, Melvin is still there. You're in the running for the top one. Melvin, keep going. Why does AMET Life want to underwrite Bima life insurance policies at low value and relatively high risk? AMET Life. Why? All of the above. Okay, so it's not something they can do on their own, you know, because that was never their focus. So Bima has got that niche focus, and to increase footprint, yes, and market share generally, and to business reputation, absolutely. All right, so you did very, very well, but all of the above is very important, is relevant to their motivation. Okay. So why doesn't Movit Malaysia underwrite the policy of Bima? I apologize, I don't know much about Movit Malaysia, but why don't they underwrite the policy of Bima? Okay, you have to be a licensed insurer to underwrite. So this is regulation here. Okay, all right. Next. And Janita is the highest climber. Well done. Followed Karen, Marcella, Wei Ji, Shulin. Keep going here. Stay focused. Early answer gets the worm. What is the partnership benefit for Bima and its partnership with telecom operators? What is the benefit? What is the benefit? Definitely A and B. Remember, large pool of customers and easy advertise their service. It's really a really high partnership benefit there. Okay. All right. And if you those 4 chose the red, yes, you are correct. Okay. That easy advertiser service, probably the next benefit. Those together are very, very important. Okay. I know some of these questions are trick questions, but at least you try and understand, you know, this whole business model. 3 in a row, Jesslyn. Well done. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. I think I need to have cough lollies. I'm getting excited here. 11 out of 13. What's the partnership benefit of the telecom operators from this partnership? Why do the telecom operators want to be involved? Okay. Retain existing customers, income from Bima's advertisements. A and B, none of the above. Definitely not none of the above. Okay, A and B, retain existing customers. Okay, very, very important. Customer retention is so critical with the competition in the telecom area. Okay. Just because you're big, it doesn't mean you're also going to be big. Shuling, excellent answer streak of 6. Chi Young, come on. Marcelo, Wei-Jie, Beamer. Yes. All right. Very smart to put that. True or false? Beamer has potential to disrupt traditional players in the long run since able to offer cheaper insurance due to efficiency. True or false? Remember, this is in the long run, and we talked about augment and disrupt. We talked about those two things. In the long run, it has the potential, but right now it's really focusing on augmentation. In the long run, anything has a potential to disrupt. So in some ways, that's the difference between disrupting and augmenting. Often startups are augmenting, they are not disrupting when they are pitching their business model. Because if you pitch a model that is just disrupting, suddenly your competitors may close you out immediately because they see you as an instant threat. So you've got to be careful here. It's nice to be disrupting and say, I'm disrupting this model. But when you do that, then someone will come along and knock you out. But if you say, I'm just tweaking and making something better, then people don't see you as a threat, and it's maybe a way of disrupting in the long run. It's like a wolf in a sheep's clothing. That's what you do. Yes. All right. Shuling, Ziyang, Marcella, Wei-Jie, Beamer. Okay, true or false? 13 out of 13. According to Gemini, Beamer is an augmentative innovator since it still taps an untapped market at the moment. You should be able to get this right. Beamer is an augmentative innovator. Come on, you just got to be fast. Fast. Okay. Oh, come on. That one person that says false, you're just playing, you're just tricking me. You don't want me to go crazy. I wanted something to go crazy about. There's only one question that all of you got right. All right. So let's wrap this up. Why did you get up at 9 o'clock? Number one, you got up at 9 o'clock because you want to be serious when you go into the job interview. That's number one. And being serious about being ready when you go into the job interview, being job ready, is that number one, you show up. You show up when your time is to show up. And number two, you show up and you participate. Number three, you show up and you learn something new about what is happening today in 2021. And what we learned today was about Beamer. What we learned today was about insurance. What we learned today was about Insuretech is all about pricing risk. And if we can better assess you when you sign up for insurance, like I cap your age at 50 years old, I limit how much you can insure for, then I don't need a huge back-end office to double check and triple check whether you qualify for insurance. If I can better sense your behavior after you sign up for insurance, whether it's health insurance, whether it's driving insurance, if I can do that with some sensor technology, then I can better price that risk that you have signed up for. And then what is the benefit to you? I can give you a cheaper product. So is that disruptive? In some areas that is disruptive, but in many areas it is augmentative. Like in the health insurance, we start off and say, okay, if you sign up for health insurance with me, all the insurance companies are doing it now. You download our app and then we allow us to track your eating, then we may be able to give you a cheaper life coverage. We might be able to give you cheaper health insurance. And then you decide to do that, then that in some ways is disruptive. In some ways, the insurance companies, if they do that, then they're actually changing the whole way in which they insure health. It's disruptive if they say that, we're not going to offer health insurance anymore without you signing up for our app and without us being able to track you. Sorry, I don't want to be tracked. Well, sorry, our insurance coverage now requires you to be tracked. And then it becomes disruptive because you're actually changing the total product. You're changing the total offering. So this is a real area, and it's an area that you may want to get involved in, whether it's in the data analytics, whether it's in the big data, whether it's in working in a bank, whether you start work, you apply for a job in a startup that is like Beamer, and then you get to understand what is going on in that world. And then in 2 or 3 years time, you can go for a job interview with a investment house or a banking house, and they will snap you up because you have in-depth information and knowledge about the regulation, the challenges in insurance and all that area. You become an analyst in that area. These are the job prospects that this tutorial and the content that we talked about can bring to you. And so I just want to congratulate all of you, because number one, you showed up at 9 o'clock. Number two, you participated, and number two, you had fun. So just that's ending today. The podium, well done. We have 3. Marcella, well done. Excellent, 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 excellent. Chi Yang, well done. And don't forget, we have Shulin. Excellent. Well done. That is great, Shulin. But in order to claim, do you have your video on, Sulin? Where are you? Have we got your video? Yes or no?
Yes.
Where are you? Can you wave? There you are. Well done. Congrats. Can everyone give Sulin a hand? Thank you. Great. Excellent. All right. So see you tomorrow afternoon at 4:30, and we'll actually talk to you about preparing for your startup project and things like that. What do you think? Is that a good plan? Yes or no? What do you think? Hello.
It's great.
All right. How was today? Was today useful for you? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Don't forget feedback. You know the feedback link. I'll give the feedback again. It's very important that you always give some feedback. We want to know how you're going every week. Well, I do anyway. And you've got the feedback from last week. Do you need to know the feedback sheet? Do you want the feedback link? If you can put 1, 2 questions in there, I think that will be great. Okay, so let's go to the untitled. I'll just give a copy of the link, send, link, copy, shorten, copy, and then I'll put that in the chat room. If you can put the feedback in, that will be appreciated. More chat.
I'm sorry, sir. Can I ask a question regarding to the assignment, the interview report?
What we're going to do, can you put the questions into the feedback room? And also I will, and then what I'll do is I'll address the questions tomorrow afternoon. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
No, really, I want to hear your questions. So if you put the questions in the feedback room, and then I'll go through that tomorrow afternoon. Good idea?
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. Sorry to cut you off, but I really want to go through that and give you a proper answer too. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Ron. Thank you. All right. You all got the link to the feedback. If you can put that in, that'll be great. And questions about the assignment, I'll go over that tomorrow afternoon at 4:30, and we can go beyond 5:30 if you've got more questions and answers after that. I appreciate that, and see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock tube. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I've got
Thank
my healthy breakfast.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome. Most welcome. How is everyone?
Good.
Yes. Okay, I was just having some breakfast. Hi. Are you ready, Ski Daddies? Are you ready? Hello. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Guatemala. Do I have to get my Guatemala to wake you up? Let's have a look. Oh. Guatemala. Okay, Alwan. My little friend wants to say hello. Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Is everyone here or not? My Guatemala. Guatemala. How many of you know this character? Yes or no? Hi.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Can I just have a video hello from everyone? Hi, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Hi. Say hello. I hope all of you you've done your meditation, you've done your yoga, you've done some exercise, you've done your bike ride, you've done your gym, and you're all ready for the tutorial this morning. I went for a 4-kilometer run this morning. During that 4-kilometer run, I was listening to the lecture that I gave for you in week 2 on Insuretech. I also listened to a few other things while I was running, and I don't listen to music. I just listen to lectures, and I've got my YouTube app here. See the YouTube app? So I click on YouTube, and then I will go to my library, and then I've got downloads. And so these are all downloads from YouTube. As you can see, there is the lecture on insurance here. And I listened to that. That's what I did this morning. Why am I telling you this? Because many of you may think, oh, professors, they don't need to study, or they don't need to keep learning, or they seem to know everything or whatever. It's not like that. I wanted to listen to it because I want to help you to have real clarity about what the topic about this week. So I just want to make sure that I reiterate some of the things that I taught you in week 2. Okay. The other thing is, I want to show you some of the habits that help you to get through, especially with the MCO. The MCO is starting today, yesterday. Help you to get through, and it's about daily habits. Okay, and that is having some meditation, some yoga, doing some exercise, but really, and listening to something positive at the start of each day, and maybe listening to one of my lectures. Maybe you don't listen to it in the first minutes of the day, but at some point in the day. But also thinking about when you come to a tutorial, it's 10 o'clock. This is a tutorial. Why should you turn up to the tutorial? Like, it's hard when you're doing Zoom. Well, here's the reason. It's about preparing you to be job ready. the great thing about these tutorials is not just we cover this Insuretech and maybe that's part of your project, maybe it's not examinable, but what we're going to cover today will help you in your search for a job in your chosen career field. It will help you. Why? Because when you go into the job interview, you are going to be much better prepared on the latest happenings. Last week, the latest happenings in crowdfunding. The week before, the latest happenings in cryptocurrency and wallets and Bitcoin. This week, the latest happenings in Insuretech. You see what I mean? Like this Fintech unit, and I don't know why you chose this, but another word for this Fintech unit is basically, it's a job readiness unit in finance. You hearing me here? Do you understand this? Like this unit is getting you job ready. This unit is getting you job interview ready. They're not going to ask you questions about the capital asset pricing model in your job interview. They're not going to ask you questions about the bond pricing model in your interview. They're going to ask you questions about fintech. They're going to ask you questions about payments, and they're going to ask you questions about insurance, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. What do you think about these things? Seriously. So this unit, I want you to think, when you think that way and you think, wow, you know, I really want to understand as much as I can out of every one of these tutorials. So are you ready for this tutorial? Hello, everyone. Are you ready? I don't hear you.
Yes, yes.
I don't hear you. Can I hear a yes from everyone, please?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I know, are you ready? But are you ready for the job interview? And that's what we're trying to get you ready for. So let me tell you, Insuretech, the big word Insuretech or insurance is all about how do we price what? What are we trying to price?
Insurance.
Close. It's a shorter word and starts with R. What are we trying to price?
Risk.
Risk, exactly. All right. Now, is the risk about the past or is it about the future?
Future.
It's always the future. Risk is never about the past. Risk is always about something that has not occurred. It's always about something that is likely to occur. It may occur or it may not occur. It's a future event. It's all about the future. It's never about the past. So we're trying to price something that may occur in the future. And so we're trying to price the likelihood of the occurrence and then the magnitude of loss if something like that occurs. Wow. So what did I cover in week 2? Well, in week 2, let me ask you, what did I talk about in week 2? Oh, well, week 1 lecture. Remember I covered the 6 areas. Did you watch my lectures?
Yes.
Just once? Twice? Didn't you watch my lecture on insurance before the shoot today? You should do that. Here's a job hint for you. Okay, I know, maybe you're going for a job interview in the next month or the month after, or maybe next year, whenever you do. Just take 1 hour to listen to all of my lectures around the 6 area wheel of fintech. Okay, just it's that, and that is in your mind. You go into the job interview, and then bang, things will just come out in the job interview, and then the interviewer will go, "Wow, how did you know that?" And say, "Well, I'm keeping up to date with what's going on." All right, so let's keep up to date with insurance. What's going on? It's about better pricing. How do we price risk? And then pricing risk is all about how do we predict the likelihood of a future event? And then how do we predict, how do we price the magnitude of that event when it occurs? So in some ways, the examples I talked about in week 1 was to do with using IoT, that is sensor technology that will help not only to create big data when you're signing up for insurance, because now we can get lots more data on you when you sign up into big data, but also we can then track your behavior after. So if you're a driver, maybe if you want insurance with me, as if I'm going to insure your driving behavior, then you need to download my app. And then all we need now is that sensor in that app which will actually sense your driving behavior. Like that sensor does not have to be in the car. Wow, they do that? Yes, of course. They are insurance company in the US, they are doing things like that already. Ah, wow. So, whereas, and then they'll put sensors on commercial vehicles, of course, because, commercial vehicle drivers maybe have a different way of, getting around, your personal phone apps and things like that. But, they're using sensor technology to track your behavior. When you sign up for health insurance, they may ask you, well, we can give you a 20% off if you sign up and use our app and then track your steps on your app every day. Ah, wow. Can you do that? Yes, but that's your choice, right? Oh, no. No one's going to touch my private data. No. Don't you touch my phone. Well, okay, that's fine. You just pay 20% more. Okay, fine. Okay, here's 20% more. All right. So you have a choice. All right. It's not like we're forcing you to do these things. All right. So the big idea or the big value proposition that Insuretech is bringing to the world is, because we can use your phone, because we can use sensor technology, now I can separate me, a good insured person, from maybe Gautama, maybe this is the insured person that you don't want to insure because they're high risk. Okay. Maybe when they drop, they break, like an egg. And you don't want to insure that, but you want to insure me. So how do you separate? How do you separate my behavior from that person's behavior? Well, we can separate at the time that we sign up for insurance, because I promised to put on the app, I promised to track my behavior. So already I'm given a signal to the insurance company that I'm going to be a low risk, whereas insure person B, they may not want to do that. They would be higher risk, then therefore you charge them a higher premium, or you just say, no, we're not going to insure you. Or we just do what Beamer does in today's tutorial. That is, they say, oh, how old are you? Well, I'm 49. No, you're over 50. Sorry, we don't insure people over 50. All right. So, so in this Insuretech we're trying to use sensor technology. We're trying to use big data to try and better better price risk. And in the past, we just put all the people into one bucket, right? And then the good people were paying the same premium as the bad people. But now we've got technology where we can separate the good people, those that are low risk, from those that are higher risk. And therefore we can give the low risk person a lower premium, the higher risk person, we can charge them more. Wow. That's the big disruptions or the big things that are happening in Insuretech, whether it's life insurance, whether it's car insurance and health insurance. Health insurance is a big area. Wow. Okay. So what we've got today are some questions about a very, very innovative startup called Beamer. And what does Beamer do? Well, how about you tell me? This is your chance to participate. And notice that I'm eating well. I've got, that's banana, sultanas, and oats with water. And so there could be an insurance company that says, well, you know, you need to track your diet, and then we will actually give you even cheaper health insurance. But, you know, it can get to that stage in the future where they actually track what you eat and everything, but it's not, I don't think it's there yet because the populations of the world are not accepting that level of privacy that they want to give up. Right. Tell us about Beamer, please. Someone would like to start. What is Beamer and what value proposition are they giving to the developing world? Who would like to start?
Can I try?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Bima offer a range of low price insurance products, which including like accident, life, and hospitalization cover for low income consumers.
Okay, I like that. That's good. And okay, so low income customers, good. And so what is their value proposition? Remember, for your project for FinTech, you have to come up with a business model. You have to talk about value proposition, right? So how can Beamer make money? Like, what is their value proposition they're giving to the low income customers?
They help to reduce the financial burdens of low-income families.
Okay, that's good. And how can they do that? Like, how can they do that? What are they doing by doing that the big insurance companies are not able to do? Why would the low-income customers buy from Beamer but not go to the large insurance companies? Someone else?
Sir, may I try?
Yes, please.
So I can think of in terms of accessibility because for large insurance company, right, our premium normally deducted on monthly basis, and then most of the low income individuals are unbanked, so they cannot access to a proper financial system. So they partner with the telecommunication companies so that the insurance premium can be paid through their prepaid SIM card.
All right, but how does Beamer make money?
I'm not sure.
Like, how can you make money on low income customers? Someone else? Very good, Hui. Very good, Hui.
That's because there's a larger number of lower income individuals compared to high income individuals. So they make up for their price. They make up the price in quantity.
Very good point. That is very interesting, and that goes across all businesses and industries where you have high volume and very low margin. Okay, so but in order to offer that, how can they do that? Like, if they've got low margin, that means they have to have low costs, right? How do they have low costs?
They ride on the existing mobile telecommunication services, so they don't need their own infrastructure. They just receive the payment.
Okay. So basically, they just got an app, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's excellent. All right. That's great. All right. So as you just mentioned, mobile operators, who who's the key enabler or driver of the business model then? Who are the key enablers or drivers of their business model? Remember, when you create your project, your startup, you got to think about, okay, I got this idea, but how do I get this idea out there? So who's the key drivers for Beamer's business model?
I think it's their key investor, which is Axiata and Alliance, which provide them the fund.
But yeah, but they're giving them money, but how do they drive the marketing of their product to all the low income customers?
Is it because they also partner with the telecom players like Celcom and Axiata Group?
Digi and Celcom, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, correct. And all right, so you got mobile operators and someone else. Gavin, what do you think? Hello. Ern, what do you think? Ricardo, are you there? Janice? Milosov?
Sir,
Yes. Elena?
I think it's the high proliferation of mobile phone usage and acceptance of the technology for financial services in emerging and developing countries.
Yes. All right, so they've got mobile operators. What else do you need to reach the low income group? What do insurance companies have?
Agents.
They have agents, but what does Beamer need? Do they really need agents, or do they need someone else? Ricardo, Augustine, Kane, Jin, Ash, Janice. Hi, everyone. Okay, so just to they need the mobile operators, but they have agents or educators. So what do we mean by that? Well, agents or educators, 3,500 of them. And they call them educators because they obviously understand that the people they're trying to reach probably need a little bit more help to fully understand why they should purchase something like this insurance. Okay. So I just want to show you something that's very, very critical. Let's have a look. Just want to have a look, and I just want to share my screen. All right. Notice here that 3 or 4 years ago, the VC funding in insurance in Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, the red, and India. Notice more recently, VC funding has increased in Malaysia and Indonesia and Thailand and China and Hong Kong. Now, you can say, well, this is not the full universe of startups, but like we did in week 2, we're just tracking the top 10 funding startup areas, right? So we want to understand, so this insurance area is definitely growing in certain countries, and as you can see in Malaysia, payments is a big thing, very, very big thing. And also insurance seems to be a big area and marketplace. So these things are very big in Malaysia at the moment. If we just look at the top 10 funded startup models. Okay. So this is a big area. Now, if we go up to question 3, up to what age is Bima life coverage in Malaysia?
50.
15? 50.
50.
50, yeah. So why do they do 50? Why do they say if you're above 50, then we can't cover you? Why do they do that?
Above 50 will be a higher risk.
Okay.
They'll also be less tech savvy, so they're less likely to have electronics around them all the time.
Okay, that's interesting that you say that. It's interesting, you know, in actuarial science, they actually say that when you're 50 years old, the probability of you living to 70 or 80 is actually much higher than if you're 20 years old, because other things happen, you know, between 20 and 50. And like that's actuarial science probabilities here. So you could argue that, well, you know, if you're 50 and above, it's less likely that you're going to have an accident or something. You might die of natural causes, but some accident happening may be less likely than if you're 20 or 30 or 35 or 40. So you could actually argue, bring in different actuarial arguments, you know, the actual study of mortality and risk across different demographic. Okay, you could argue that, but generally, you know, 50 years, obviously they're picking at one little area of the insurance product range out there. Okay, so Bima Life in Malaysia is underwritten by a MetLife. So our MetLife is a major insurance company in Malaysia. Why would they want to underwrite Bima Life policies of such low value and at relatively high risk? Wei-Zhen, what do you think?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Why would a MetLife want to underwrite Bima's life policies? By the way, what does underwriting mean? Wei-Zhen?
Is it pricing risk?
Possible. That's a process that needs to be undertaken. But when I underwrite something, what am I doing?
You're accepting the liability of it.
Gervin, what am I doing if I underwrite something?
It's like you're accepting the liability of, like, in case of loss or like damage.
Okay, good. You are actually guaranteeing. It's like in kind of the government underwrites bank deposits, right? If the bank fails, the government will guarantee that you'll get your money back, right? Up into a certain area. So, and then when you do an IPO, you actually get investment banks to help underwrite the IPO. What does that mean? If the IPO fails, the investment banks will make sure that there's enough investors that will bid a price when it goes onto the stock market. You with me here? So underwriting is kind of like a guarantee. It's a backup guarantee. So Bima is kind of like not a insurance company themselves in the fact that they have lots of assets under market. They are providing a product. They're providing a front end product like an app that is a promise to customers. You pay me a little bit each month, then I guarantee that if this event occurs, then I'll pay you. That's what Bima is doing. But Bima doesn't have billions of dollars of assets under management. So they need an underwriter. They need a proper insurance company to support what Bima's promise to its customer is. All right. Now, Milvic Malaysia, why don't they underwrite the policy? Ash, what do you think? Okay. Ash, Ronaldo.
Oh, sorry, sir. Did you call me just now?
Yes.
Okay. Why do I think Milvic is not underwriting the policy?
Yes.
And
yeah, what do you think?
As you mentioned just now, because they don't have enough assets to back it up.
Well, are they? That's possible, but are they a licensed insurer?
I don't think so.
I think you should check that. That's the main reason why. All right. So, yeah, there are their assets, and then you can go to investment banks. You can get creditors, investors, and VC capital, and say that you got the assets. But Milvic is not a licensed insurer, so therefore they need an underwriter to make sure that who is a licensed insurer to make sure that the policy fits the regulatory requirements in the country they're in, like Malaysia and other countries. Okay, Ash, welcome back. Very good. Any other points about why they may get AMET Life to be the underwriter? Like AMET Life is big, right? Why would they go to AMET Life instead of some smaller company? Like AMET Life is big, isn't it?
Yeah, AMET Life and Takaful are like quite well known in Malaysia.
Yeah. So is there some reason why Bima might go to AMET Life as the underwriter?
Maybe because they have more experience, like they understand the Malaysian insurance scene.
So how does that make you feel if you're going to be a customer of Bima? How do you feel?
You know that they're reliable, because let's say if Milvic was incorporated as an insurance company, but because it's new, so even if it was incorporated, people might not like view it as legitimate.
Exactly right.
There's no like history or like track record.
Ash, you're doing very, very. Ash, is your video working? Are you with us?
Sorry, sir, my video is not working. I'm using my sister's laptop.
That's all right, but you're doing very, very well. So I just thought, wow, that's so cool what you're doing. Welcome again. All right. So we're trying to understand this world and this directly linked to thinking about your business model for your final project. That is, you got to think about, okay, you can have a product, but that doesn't mean that's easy to sell. You have a product, you think, oh, this is the next best thing, but how do you know people out there will trust you? And so no one may trust Bima, but we trust AMET Life. AMET Life is underwriting, so therefore I'll buy from Bima. So you got that reputation spillover from an established player to a startup. And then that's one way that a startup can use to actually gain many, many decades of reputation by partnering with a well-established brand name. Okay. All right. So let's have a look at question 5. Key partners of Bima are Cellcom and Digi. How do you think this partnership benefits Bima? Let's do Bima first.
Sir, I think it's because by partnership, Bima can reach more market and more people.
Okay, for Bima, how do they benefit?
You can capture even more market and more people.
Okay, all right. And how does Cellcom and Digi benefit?
There will be more customers will be attracted as well and increase their profit.
All right, someone else? All right, that's good. All right, so it's just like this. If I have I have my app. Where's my app? Where's my, there we are, Mind Wizard. Okay, so I've got an app. It's already there, Mind Wizard. You can download it. And that app does something, right? But just because it's on iPhone and on Android system, Google Play and Apple, like that's the app there, okay? It's a real app. You can download that today. But just because I've got that, that doesn't mean I'm going to get 1 billion customers downloading it. I've got to market the app. I've got to partner with someone. No one trusts me, but maybe I partner with someone that has a reputation. Then suddenly I can then get more customers, right? I only have about 100+ downloads of this app in the iTunes store and in Android. That's fine. I haven't done any marketing. So I want you to think, sometimes you can pay money to do marketing. You pay money on Facebook, but sometimes a better strategy is to partner with a downstream service provider like Cellcom or Digi that enables you to market to millions of customers immediately. Right. So I want you to think about, for your project, you come up with a product, but you need to think creatively about how you're going to market that product. Okay. Like you all know Shopee, right? Do you know Shopee? Yeah. So at the moment, Shopee have got hundreds of or thousands of sales agents around Malaysia going to vendors saying, oh, can you install the Shopee app and we will give 4% rebate on whatever spending that people spend with you. And that's what Shopee is doing to try and get more market share. Okay, so they've got to give rebates, and they've got to, and then you use Shopee as your payment instead of Grab or instead of Touch and Go, and then you get that 4% that you can spend on the Shopee website. All right. So you've got to find ways of how do you get traction? There's thousands of startups that start with a product, but they fail to get traction because they don't know how to market the product or partner with the right people or to get the right reputation. And that's very important in the insurance area. So I want you to think about that very, very carefully for your major project. You've got the product, you've got that idea, but it's equally important to think about, okay, how do I get traction with that idea? How do I sell that idea? How do I market that idea? Okay. That is just as important as coming up with the idea to begin with. Okay. Let's question 6. And then we'll go into a Kahoot session. Based on CAPS Gemini's classification, Insuretech's in terms of level of innovation, do you see BEMA as an augmentative innovator or a disruptive innovator? Who would like participation marks for this last one? Is BEMA augmentative or a disruptive innovator? And we're just saying in the short term, what do you think is it? Augmentative or disruptive?
So I would say it's augmentative.
Okay. Why?
Because it's still very reliant on traditional insurance industries, and at the same time, it also utilizes new technologies. So it's not really a competition for other insurance industries, but it's also paving the way for using new technology. So I'd say.
Okay, it's very good. Augmentative meaning is just picking one little part, one little fruit off the tree. You're not actually picking everything off the tree. You're just picking one little fruit, you know, low income, a certain segment that maybe some of them may be unbanked or whatever, that's fine. But it's an area that was never tapped by the big insurance companies because they didn't think there was any money in it. So they're just picking that little bit, less than 50-year-old, to reduce our risk. And we have minimal costs. We have agents out there, but they're focusing on education, not just sales. And so we're just augmenting, we're just tweaking a product, we're just tweaking, we're just changing one little thing, right? Whereas disruption is kind of what Bitcoin is trying to do to the currency world. Okay, that's disruption. Disruption is more replacing. Disruption is more just overturning and actually making the old business model go away. And then disruption is a new business model that becomes a new kid on the block. Right. So maybe BEMA is augmenting in the short term, but in the long term, it may be disrupting. In the long term, it may be disrupting. All right. And then maybe there's an insurance company for the 50 to 60-year-old group, an insurance company for the 60 to 70-year-old. At the moment, they're below 50. They're not trying to take everything. They're just doing a little segment. So in the short term, augmentative. All right, so let's play Kahoot. And because what's important about Kahoot is we just go over some of the ideas and just tell me if, let's create, let's play Insuretech, teach, week 9, game option, classic. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready, everyone, for the Kahoot session? Yes or no? Okay, let's sign up. 1940434. There are 13 questions, and some of them are trick questions. So be very, very careful. Okay. All right, but they will cover some of the key ideas, and then we have a short summary, and then that will finish our tute today. But it will never finish until you get the job of your choice and the career of your choice. As we got 15, we want more. We want 30 of you in Kahoot. Appreciate your great efforts in this. We've got to finish right on 11 o'clock. So don't forget questions that you have for your assignment. We will cover tomorrow at 4:30. I'll have a workshop for everyone. And so put those questions in the feedback link that is in the chat room, and then they'll be ready, and I'll go through those questions and give you some hints on how to improve your presenting for your final report. Okay, are we ready to go? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. I think we've got most of you. We got 26 of you. I'll take a screen capture of that, and so we're good to go. All right. Let's start. Insuretech, and we're doing 13 questions. Some of them are tricky, all right? It might be 2 right answers, but which is the better answer? Bima is the leading provider of mobile delivered insurance products in developing emerging markets. True or false? Now, come on, can we get this right to start with? Can everyone, you get really quick points. You answer this very, very fast. Okay, the longer you take, the fewer points you get. You need to be fast. 25 answers already. Come on, what's going on with you? All right. Yeah, everyone's right. Okay, that's a great start. Oh, wow, right off the bat. Okay, can we keep this going? Okay, oh, of course, Winnie, you're first. You're the fastest. Andrea, Regina, Ricardo, well done. All right, 2 out of 13. Let's move this. What is the main value proposition of Bima? We need to speed this up. I might be cutting this off at the 15-second mark, so just be careful. What is the main value proposition of Bima? The main value proposition, and it could be more than one, all right, not just the main one. So all right, definitely all of the above. It's really focusing on all of the above. Okay, this is really, really good. All right, so we got Wijana, Winnie, Ricardo, Ash, well done, and Zin, well done, well done, well done. How Bima, how can they have lower costs and increase efficiency in onboarding, distribution? How can they do all this? Like, this is just crazy. How can they do this? They're obviously using something like this. We know that. Come on, we need to get this right. 7 are going digital, of course. All right. Definitely going digital. Mobile phone, very, very quick. All right. Jashin did very well. Up 9 places. Given. Well done. Well done. Well done. Yes. All right, 4 out of 13. Who are Bima's key partners? Please get this one right. Can we do this very, very quickly? Bima. Online payment system providers. What have we got here? Mobile operators, governments, insurance companies. Who are they? Who are the main one? The key partners? Definitely mobile operators. Very, very, very critical. Remember, for the downstream marketing, for the downstream. Of course, you got an insurance company for the upstream. That is the underwriting. Of course, it's a key partner, but the mobile operators, if they didn't have that, they would be dead in the water. Jashin, well done again on a key streak. What is the key enabler of Bima's business model? Key enabler. Enablers could be more than one. All right. So agents who provide education about all aspects. I mean, that is a really, really important area. Okay. It's about focusing on education, not just sales. And that's really, really, really important. Okay. Let's keep moving. Up to what age is Bima life coverage in Malaysia? Can we get this right, please? No funny answers. We did this right in the tutorial. 25 and yes, for the second time. To the first tute to get all of you on right, all of it. Excellent. All right. So we know it's 50. You know why it's 50? Because it's about managing the risk. Look, it's the ice answer street. Remember, faster, get higher marks if you get it right. Increasing age limit would raise claims and thus suppress margins even further and make Bima unsustainable. Okay, we did talk about that. Can we get it? 3. I think the 3 of you just said false just to play with me, but 23, you got that right. Definitely, right? Increase the age limit can raise claims and suppress margins. Increase the age limit increases the risk. Remember, it's all about how do we price risk. Insuretech is all about pricing risk. Why does AMET Life want to underwrite the life policies at low value and relatively high risk? Now remember, it could be more than one of these answers. It could be just one of these answers. MetLife is a big insurer. All right, all of the above. I know the other answers are correct, but it's really all of them. It's going to boost their reputation, give them opportunities that they've never been in there before. Wijana, well done, Wijaya. Why doesn't Muvlik Malaysia underwrite the policy of Bima? We made that very, very clear, didn't we? The big R word, not risk, but the other R word. Yeah, you know the answer to this one, don't you? All right, not a licensed insurer. If you're not a licensed insurer, therefore you cannot underwrite. That is, make that promise, be that guarantor. Sarah, well done. Well done, Jashin. 3 players, just had an answer streak of 5. You did very well. What is the partnership benefit for Bima from its partnership with the telecom operators? And this is a big thing that you need to take away for your major assignment. Remember, after the best. Okay, A and B. Yeah. No, you picked those 8 that picked access a large pool. Yes, you are correct. But at the same time, then also an easy advertiser service. So A and B is very, very important. Keep that in mind for your major project. Okay. How are you going to market what your business proposition is? What is the partnership benefit of the telecom providers from the partnership? This is another trick question too. Another trick question. It's retain existing customers. All right. That's most critical. All right. Because remember, those telecom service providers, it's very, very cutthroat in competition. Okay. So they make it very, very clear what they're doing. Okay. Sarah, Lork, Winnie, Zin. All right. Maybe they don't want to get out there that, oh, they're actually taking money from Bima to support these low income people. Now they can say that, well, we're partnering with Bima, but we're not taking money from them. Like, that's a different proposition, right? And that makes it like that they're trying to help the uninsured out there. So, you know, there's benefits in terms of reputation in doing that. Bima has the potential to disrupt traditional players in the long run. True. Remember, in the short run, it's augmentation. In the long run, it has a potential. In the long run, everything has a potential to disrupt. But in the short run, are you disrupting or are you augmenting? Most startups take an augmenting strategy in the short run. Why? Because when you're doing augmenting, then the competition doesn't notice you and they won't kill you when you're trying to get started. Wow. Sarah, Lork, Winnie, very well done. 13 out of 30, true or false? According to Capgemini, Bima is an augmentative innovator since it taps an untapped market at the moment. I just said what the answer is. Please, can we get all of you on the same page as we finish today's tutorial? Come on, have we got it? 25 answers, we're done. Yes, 3 times, amazing. Wow, awesome. Well done, everyone. I think that's amazing. Look, I know you're learning a little things each week, but this turns into a big thing. Why? Because it will make the difference in your job interview. And also, as I've hinted in today's session, it will help you in thinking about, okay, how are you going to market your product that you come up with in your major project? So what I ask you to do now, as we close this tutorial, go into the feedback sheet in the chat room, you click on that and type in your questions about the assignment so you can help make tomorrow afternoon 4:30 value added for you, because I'm I want to give you value to make sure that your assignment is delivered well. I'm going to talk about how you can improve your presenting and show you some real examples of presentations that were recorded last year. And I hope this tutorial has been valuable for you. Stay healthy, look after yourself and look after your mind. And don't forget to eat well, and see you tomorrow afternoon. And bring your videos with you tomorrow afternoon. Let's have some fun, shall we? Okay, bye for now. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and if you like the tutorial, give the thumbs up and give the feedback. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I forgot to show the podium, but it got. I see Winnie, Sarah, and is that the first one? That's right. Well done, Vijaya. Well done. That was very, very good. And Lorcan's in. So that is excellent, excellent, excellent. Well done. Well done. Very well done. Sarah and Winnie, you're all there. So that's awesome. All right. I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30. I think we'll have some fun tomorrow. What do you think?
Sir, how about the attendance code?
Okay. Don't forget questions for tomorrow. Write them in the feedback sheet and I'll go through them tomorrow. That'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, very well done. Well done, all of you. Thank you for your participation. All noted. Thank you.
Sir, how about the attendance code?
Okay. Thank you. The attendance code. What I'll do is I'll have to post it into. I'll get Mazit to send it out to everyone. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
sir.
Roshan. Appreciate that. Oh, send me an email as you need it, Roshan, and I'll post it for you. Thank you.
Okay, I wait for the attendance code. Thank you, sir.
I'll do that. All right.